and Orange podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And I think I figured out what was wrong with my mic.
Okay.
Okay, remember how we
Breaking
had this
news story.
Yeah, this for anybody listening probably about the last 3 to 4 to 5 issues.
They're kind of
episodes. What happened is my mic gain thing broke. The fucking wheel just doesn't do anything anymore.
The little silver thing right there.
Yeah, to adjust the mic gain.
I got the people are gonna hear the podcast. Oh, the doot thing. Okay,
Yeah, you know, anybody who's turned a little wheel thing doesn't talk about.
All right, yeah.
So, what I had to do is I had to break down and use the auto gain and let the computer decide what is best for us.
This is 2001.
So, yeah.
Everything's living in the cloud.
So, but I thought I should, explain that because this thing's been pissing me off. Everybody else probably just wondering why it's louder than normal.
The last four podcasts, just be like,
well, yeah,
raise your voice like.
Well, yeah, it's like I had it lowered down so far. It's like, okay, let's sit really far away from each other. But I mean, like, it was horrible. I put the headphones on. I could hear. I had like superpowers. I could hear things in the other room that I could normally never hear.
It's like the Daredevil of podcasts.
It was. I put the headphones on. I could hear people brushing their teeth like 3 rooms away. It's like, what the fuck?
Once we just look like, are you lying right now? Your heartbeat just skipped a beat.
Just leave that thing on the whole time. And I could just sit in the room like, I can hear everything. I hear all y'all. Don't mess with me.
The Daredevil with the hearing aid.
The Daredevil.
If he ever lost his powers, just like put microphones on, just walk into the room like, why do you have that? Why do you have the
like
microphone?
Like a directional mic from like Metal Gear Solid.
Why do you have that microphone, Matt Murdock? Don't worry about it.
Do you ever just kind of like when you're playing Metal Gear, you're just kind of like, fuck, I gotta like laying on the ground, gotta point this mic and hold it there for like 10 minutes.
These people having a conversation. Like there's a part of Metal Gear Solid 2 when like there's like Solidus, Ocelot, and I think Olga are having a conversation.
Is this the one where you're in the room where there's all the guys blindfolded?
Yeah. And there's something to play with. I never really, it was one of those things, I stopped myself. I want to go back and try it though. I remember there was this thing. Maybe just some little thing, they just like brush it off, but when no one was looking, I'd crouch down and I punched one of the hostages.
Oh, I've done that before.
You do that a bunch, or you do like if you do it long enough, like Colonel calls in, or the AI Colonel, whatever, calls in, and just like, are you done punching like civilians or whatever? Then all of a sudden Rose is like, we're fucking done, Jack, later, bye. I'm like, oh shit, I fucked up the game.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, that doesn't happen. You just continue the game on.
It doesn't have that music though on that one though, I don't think.
Yeah. But no, you don't game over. It just the game just carries on. So I'm wondering, is there like an alternate ending? So after Solidus falls off,
nobody calls you anymore after that. Like, fuck this guy. He punches civilians that are blindfolded. What an asshole.
He shoots seagulls.
Yeah, he shoots seagulls. Well, okay, whatever. Fuck seagulls. It bothers me deep down inside as Colonel Campbell has feelings for seagulls and crows.
AI Colonel Campbell. The only thing.
Well, it happens in like when you play like on Twin Snakes. I like when you go down like the giant elevator. It takes fucking forever. But you can sit there and like punch the crows as they fly by. It's like
and you get like a ration or something, don't you?
Well, yeah, and the crow goes poof. Just like blows up.
Snake has like explosion punch powers, but only works on small animals.
Dude, did you get the new Jagger book?
Yeah, I did. I only got like 20 pages into it.
Is that the book where the guy is talking about Jagger stuffing dicks in his mouth?
It hasn't got to that part yet, but
Well, I didn't get to read one yet, but I remember some guy wrote a Jagger biography like in the last year. No, the Pete Townsend was a different one. That seemed to end up just adding up.
Really?
Because I want to say the McJagger one came out before the Pete Townsend one, and that was the one where we talked about like Mick and David Bowie were just like little fuck buddies or something like that.
That was like a rumor that's been going on for a while since the Dancing in the Street video. Which, if you look at that video, I don't really blame someone for questioning that. So, because there's that part where they just get inches away from each other singing. I think Mick like brings in a Just Bowie's collar, and they abruptly switch back to back, look at the camera, and just like. It's really, Mick Jagger is one of my favorite rock stars of all time. The Rolling Stones is my favorite band of all time, but that is one of the worst music videos ever made.
But it's so much fun.
It's so much fun, like oh my god, this happened kind of way. Well, because when you think Mick and Bowie getting together,
this is gonna be fucking amazing.
This is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be legendary, but in the totally wrong kind of way. I don't know. So far in the book, it's just kind of like building up more of a. It's not talking about like. I'm still like...
So it's a good point. It was like, dick. The 70s was all about dick.
This is guy like, like, May 14th, 1973. Jagger stuffed a dick in his mouth. Chapter 24.
It was Pete Townshend's dick.
Yeah. Chapter 26, David Bowie's cock all in his mouth. That's all the whole book is, just each page.
Here's a drawing I drew to show what it looked like.
Just like...
It was scratchy drawing. Like Ziggy Stardust just standing up with his dick and like Jagger's mouth. He's turning over, giving thumbs up, looking at you, winking.
Just like... You just open one chapter, it's all like... all work and no dick makes Mick a very dull boy. Like that.
Well, I just remember because whatever, like there was one book that came out, and I don't know if it's that one. And then Pete Townshend came out. He's like, "Yes, we were all kind of gay. It was the '70s. All tasty dick."
Yeah, he said
So
something.
you say like Mick Jagger's dick was quite tasty.
He said Mick was the tastiest of them all.
Yeah, so.
But you know, Mick had to come out and say like, "What the fuck, man."
Yo, dude, that was a fucking bedroom secret. '70s. '70s.
Who knows?
If you put '70s over it, everything's okay. If you just say it's '70s.
You just get this kind of like cocaine fueled haze over it.
You know, because like if something happened in the '70s, it's like, well, it can't be gay. It has the '70s. It was experimental.
So far in the book, I've only just got because I just got it yesterday. I'm only like 20 pages into it. It's just kind of like doing an introduction, kind of like, what's our obsession with Mick Jagger? Should we just brush him aside? It's very much one of those kind of like think. It's not like so much. Is
it more like a philosophy book on like like is Mick Jagger God?
It's more like the first chapter is kind of like that, which I'm just about done with. It's more of kind of like it goes back to an old SNL sketch that really like makes fun of and brings down Mick Jagger.
I remember that one.
But then he comes in and then he says like, but if you stop and look at it, Mick Jagger did this. Yeah, sure, he did this and he does a lot of fucked up things, but he also did this over here. Kind of like defending him, attacking him, defending him, attacking him. The guy apparently worked for Blender, and he even said like there was a article that was in was it I think it was Blender. Yeah, there's an article in Blender saying worst rock stars of all time, and Mick Jagger, I believe, was number 16 as his solo work.
Oh.
And then he says like,
what the fuck is Mick Jagger? I never even heard of that.
He has solo work, yeah. Which
yeah, it makes sense. There's like 50 Rolling Stones albums. There's got to be some solo stuff from.
Yeah, exactly. And it said something like even a autistic 6-year-old girl could make something we wanted to hear long enough. It's like, I don't know about that, but
yeah,
that seems a little. That seems like the says like. Funny thing is that month's issue had Tila Tequila on the magazine cover.
Oh yeah, and sometimes people get like a lot of times people they hate solo work a lot of times because it's different. Mm-hmm. And so that solo work, that's cool. It's like it's experimental. They get to try something different, and that's what it should be. It should be always looked upon as like they're trying something different. You almost shouldn't even criticize. Just say like they fucking just need to vent and try something new. Mm-hmm. If it didn't, either it's gonna work out really well, like Ozzy Osbourne.
I can't defend
or it's just gonna be like one of those ones like, hey, it was just a project.
I can't defend it or attack it because I haven't heard any of the solo stuff. But I
can defend it. I didn't heard it either, but I'll defend it anyway.
If
I'm like one of those kind of guys like who'd be in the bar who'd be like, your friend just begin to shoot dispute. You just turn around, and you're like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, fuck, I'm on your side. Fucking A. I was just throwing darts at this broken dartboard this whole time, but
Oh, you just gave me flashbacks. The fucking dartboard that was in the dark, just like
chucking them.
This one time, there's this place called Steve's Place in Tuolumne Road, which is kind of like I gotta give more of a visual for people who don't live in the area.
It's a cowboy bar where people used to ride their horses up to.
And life just sucks.
Yeah.
You just hate your fucking life. And this one time, there's actually a couple, because every time I go there, I got a story to tell when I come back. I don't go there, but whenever I do, I got a story. And there's one time you and me, because we were going with our friend Wes, and we were going there, and I remember we were just so out of place because we were younger too. I think I was 22, you maybe like 21.
Maybe 2 years. No, it was more.
It
wasn't that long ago.
I think we were younger. It was more than 2 or 3 years ago. I can tell you that. But yeah. But anyway, we go there, and
was this the same time that you did heroin?
I was gonna work into that story.
Okay, keep going.
Just call this episode the one where Dunigan did heroin. No, but people are just like, shut up, just get to that part. Like, I gotta.
The first part's funnier, actually. Or actually, I don't know, they're both funny.
Well, there's like I said, always time there's a story. We go in there, and like Wes, because we're good friends with this guy Wes, but he kind of has some of his friends, and we didn't know any of them. I'm like, well, let's just go play darts. So we just go in this corner. The thing is barely lit up.
I don't think it was even plugged in. I think it just like it looked like it was barely lit up because the lights were glaring on it, and that was about it.
And then we're just throwing, and just hear like clink, clink, just totally missing it. And the guy runs
the darts would like break, because clearly it wasn't maintained.
This old cowboy guy's like, I think I may have solved your problem. Just walks up, plugs it in, the whole thing lights up, see it way more clear now.
And it was also like, no man, we're having more fun with it off, because now I gotta put a quarter in it.
Then, so there's that time. And there's one time, I remember this.
The more thing was because Wes was looking at us, he's like, Wes, who the fuck are those guys you invited? They're just chucking darts at a blank dartboard.
It's like, oh, don't worry about
corner.
them. Sunglasses, cigarette hanging out? No, don't worry about them. They're fine. Just leave them be. Let them play their darts. But no.
I think this night involved, unless it was a different time at Steve's, to where we were all standing outside.
No, I want to work our way to the end of the heroin story.
Okay.
I want to do the one before the heroin story. Because there's like 3 or 4 of these stories. And there's like one time, it was you, me, Cisco, and Wes.
It wasn't like a Giants game was on or something?
A Giants game, that's why we were there. There was a Giants game on, and we were just kind of like, Cisco wanted to see the end of the game.
And it was literally one of those games that like went on for like 4 or 5 extra innings.
Yeah. And at some point, there was this old lady there, the creepiest fucking old lady I've ever seen. She like had like her face literally looked like bark, like wood. They weren't wrinkles, they were cracks.
Sort of like Treebeard on like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, like that. That's how she kind of looked. And she wasn't just kind of like, backwoods, kind of like redneck. She was like kind of like, I knew Calamity Jane redneck. That kind of like just this fucking weird.
See, this is the lady that explained to me that she's like, we used to ride our horses to Steve's.
There's a part like, I remember somebody
said... You got real drunk, you just threw yourself over, slapped the horse on the ass, and it took you home.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like the original cab service.
It was like autopilot. But,
on the way there, you can follow the horse's balls.
It'll make the horse run faster, actually.
He gets excited.
Oh, Snuggles. No, there was one time... so anyway, what happened, though, is I felt kind of bad. But it came back around to me. Because we were in there, we were out there talking, this lady starts coming, she was like, I think somebody said the name of some mountain, and then all of a sudden,
she literally, crowbars herself into the conversation. I think there was, a man powwow outside, and all of a sudden, she's like, what?
She, literally,
F-O-L-L.
Yeah, and she says, a name of, I think Old Provo Mountain. She's like, oh, Provo Mountain coming down the river. Like, some guy behind her literally pulls out a harmonica. I was like,
yeah, they've been fucking doing it for years.
Just doing that, it's like one of those songs.
Some bluegrass, old song.
My daddy said I'm gonna fuck your face, honey. Some stupid ass fucking song like that. And then, at some point, she goes to you and starts talking to you. And
I'm cornered now, sort of. I'm outside, yet I'm cornered.
And everyone slowly fades away till you're the last one she's talking to. And I felt bad. And then me and Cisco at the bar, we look. She's still out there talking. You're just cornered.
I'm stuck. I can't get out. I'm just it's almost like one's these are the kind of people. It's you don't want to be mean or something. They're like, well, fuck you, sonny. Just pull out a broken beer bottle and stab you.
She just pulls out a Bowie knife.
Don't like my Calamity Jane song.
Yeah, how many engines I scalped with this? But anyway,
she's like the kind of lady who would pull out she would open up her jacket almost, and she would have these are all the balls of all my horses. I've had over the years.
She had a straw hat, a flower dress that's probably been here since 1820 or some shit.
I just bought it in Colombia.
Yeah. No, it literally looked that fucking old though, but probably not. But anyway. What was I gonna say?
Well, Cisco finally came out and said, "Hey, Spencer, we need you in here." After 10 minutes of this, which felt like a good 2 hours.
Well, first we kind of looked over, should we do something? And you kind of just looked over to the corner of your eye. This looked like help me. And I was,
help! Anybody fucking help me!
Then someone's like, he's dead to us. They turn back the TV.
Oh, Giants scored another run.
Yeah, exactly.
One of those things.
Oh, hey, what? Yeah, coming! Just running.
Yeah.
And then,
finally Cisco waved me in.
And then once
a plane coming in on a stormy night.
I wish I could have done more, but I was just I don't know. I was already in a conversation with her. But it comes back around to get me in the ass.
Because then she comes up to you.
She sits down next to me and says, so what's your name, Shawty? I'm like, Ryan Dunigan. She's like, Dunigan? Do you have any relatives in Monterey? I know lots of Dunigans. It's like, really? I didn't know it was that common of a name, but, Spencer just burped. It wasn't a raptor, just so you folks know. But anyway, I wonder if the microphone even picked that up right there.
I don't know.
But yeah, anyway. So, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so...
She's an old lady, creepy old lady's talking to you.
Creepy old lady's talking to me, and she's like, I know lots of Dunigans. I'm just like, no, lady, I don't have any relatives that I know of in Monterey. And then she starts going on and on and on. Like, you gotta find your family. Go to Ancestry.com. Eyes wide. It was like the most it was like, this would be like a fucked up Ancestry.com where this creepy old lady, like, literally, she was like 3 inches away from my face talking to me because everybody was loud.
She was the close talker. I will say that, too. She was the close talker.
From Seinfeld.
Yeah, she literally
Beyond
would get up.
that.
And that's when people are close talking to you, because then you're like, they're so close, they could fucking kill me in a second.
Yeah. Her eyes wide open. Like, her wooden teeth smelled so fucking bad. Talking, just like, you gotta find your family. Ancestry.com. You know? It was just like, Jesus Christ, does Ancestry.com pay this bitch to go out and try and round people in? But anyway, so, then there's the heroin story.
Well, I saw that creepy old lady once in Live Oak Music, too. I was in there once getting guitar strings or something like that. And I saw that lady there, and she
buying like a washboard to play for a bluegrass band.
Well, she was like, I just got stuck over. She's like, I don't cut any of the nails on my right hand because I want them to be real long so I can play the old banjo. And I was just like, oh fuck. And then she came up to like say something. I was like, that's it, run. I'm out of here. Get my strings.
Just imagine these creepy like witch-like hands.
No, like
brown nails.
They were fucking like 3-inch long nails.
Oh, fuck.
You know, and it was only on one side, so it looked even weirder.
I could see her going up to some, like, girl, like, kind of like, I need to stay young, I need protein, like, scratching their hand, like, sucking their wrist. Like,
I need the youth! The blood of the youth will make me live forever! I'm from 1829!
She starts sucking on him, like, the wrinkles slowly start to go away. She's not young.
She's playing the banjo on the other hand, like...
The 20-year-old girl she's sucking from, like, becomes a corpse, just falls to the ground.
And she pulls up, she's like... pulls out of the second boss, Peaches, I really missed you. Like, 1855 was a completely different time.
Oh, I miss the 1850s.
So this leads into Ryan trying heroin for the first time.
By accident. Look, let me tell you this from my perspective, all right? Because people always be oh yeah, Dunigan just jumped right on it, just started lighting me up. So what ends up happening is there's
like a man powwow of like two women.
Powwow, yeah. So I guess little powwow going on there, and this guy I haven't seen from high school because this guy actually got expelled, but he's a nice guy. I seen him recently. He's on top of his shit. But right here, just kind of like, you think, given this particular guy's history, I would have put 2 and 2 together.
But it just didn't plan out that way.
Now, all that being said, I seen him recently. He looks like he's on top of his shit, and he's a good guy. But this time, it was like, we were out there, man powwow, just haven't seen this guy. Hey, man, what's going on? Yada, 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 just bullshitting. I leave. I go to the bathroom. I come back. They're finishing off a joint. And there's about 3 other people, including you, Wes, and one of Wes's friends. We're sitting there. This guy's finishing it off. He's all like, hey, someone want to finish this thing off right here? You guys all pass. I'm like, well, I don't get tested in my work. I never really smoke pot too often, and I don't got to drive, so why not? Hit it.
You finished the whole thing. Let's just rephrase it. You didn't
finish the whole. There is like people can't see, but there's like that much left. There's like half an inch left.
Still, it was yours to finish.
So I finish it off. Like, that tastes different. and then like, I think the night just kind of went on. It tastes like burnt vinegar. I was like, oh, wow, I don't remember it tasting that way. And then we get in your car. We don't say anything. Everyone's just like, what the fuck? Everyone's just like, I just fucked a baby or something, you know? Just give me that look. And then I just get in the car. And then...
Well, nobody gave you that look, though, because everybody else was standing around there. They're all accustomed to it.
Well, people were looking at me like, Dunigan did that? You know? One of those kind of things.
Well, maybe that's what they're doing.
I don't know. They just gave me that look like, really? What the fuck? You know? So I know you gave me that look.
Because I was there before and didn't know what was going on.
I didn't know what was going on, yeah. So I get in we get in your car, and all of a sudden I'm just like, I feel weird. I put my hand on my chest. I feel really weird. My mouth is really dry. I taste like burnt vinegar. What the fuck? He's like, then you said... Dude, you just smoked heroin. I was like,
dude, you just smoked heroin. I was like, yeah, that's what they're passed around there.
I thought it was just a normal joint. I didn't know. The closest thing I ever had to like a real Keith Richards story, but yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Keith Richards, there's actually nothing to it. But since you're telling me that you're loaning out Cowboy Bebop to a couple people that have never seen it before.
That's some Keith Richards-ish.
Exactly, that's what I feel. So I was like, you know what, man, I haven't watched Cowboy Bebop it's been at least a couple of years, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So I threw on the entire season, watched all 26 episodes again, watched the movie, and it's one of those you just watch like, man, this is one of the most beautiful shows ever.
It's so inspirational.
It probably is just like the ultimate show almost.
That's probably my favorite show.
I probably like Batman the Animated Series just like a tad bit more, but man, there's just more going on though in that Cowboy Bebop than anything else about.
The references they make to it, aside Japanese. Now, keep in mind, this could just be a fanboy just noticing small things, but I honestly believe, because here's something that's been on record that's a fact. Spike, he's a fusion of some dead Japanese actor who I guess was kind of their Steve McQueen. Mm-hmm. Clint Eastwood, Bruce Lee. Yeah. Those three are obvious. Someone else, I think he is supposed to be Steve Miller. Mm-hmm. I think he's supposed to be a little bit Steve, because aside from at the end of every episode, or almost every episode, saying "See you later, Space Cowboy," there's the first episode where he is going after Asimov, the guy who looks like Benicio del Toro, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think
the episode that really feels like almost like a Robert Rodriguez movie in space.
Even
though it's like kind of almost pre-Robert Rodriguez sort of kind.
Well, I think
he had like 2 movies by that point.
A lot of the characters, maybe not all of them, but I think most of the characters that are there just for an episode are kind of like a fusion of different like actors. Like there's the one where I'll go back to this one for a second, but I'll just say the first episode first. I'll go to the next one. When Spike comes out, when he's like after what's the red eye guy? I just said his name. Asimov. Yeah. And after Asimov chokes him out, and Spike comes into disguise, he's wearing a poncho. He throws the sombrero off. He's wearing the poncho. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it's the same type of poncho Steve Miller was wearing on stage one time during a live concert. Huh. So it's kind of like small little nods like that they make. You know what I mean?
That's the thing is like just. Because it's
he looks like a young Steve Miller when he was thin.
It's a sci-fi like show, but it's got these like Western elements in it and these like noir elements. That's like the 3 main things I notice a lot in it.
A little bit of kung fu too.
Yeah, and then you got some martial arts in it.
World War II style dogfights.
Yeah, and then you got the space flights too. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I like about the episodes because sometimes an episode can be happy, sometimes it can be sort of sad, sometimes it can be bittersweet. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it can be action-packed, There's just always kind of like a different feeling in each one, but...
Yeah. That ending, though, I love that ending. It's such a bittersweet ending, but it's such a great ending. Uh-huh. And then, I mean,
plus, I love that like last part, too. It's just like, Vicious and Spike are fighting. And then they knock each other's weapons out of their hands. So Spike grabs a sword, slices him as Vicious shoots him. It's just like, perfect.
I just love that part.
It
they didn't slide. I thought it was like they slide the weapons back to each other, and then...
Is that what they do?
They get each other.
I thought they grabbed each other's weapons and then they just they finish each other out with their other weapons.
That could be it. The way I remember it is they slide their weapons.
It is from like kind of like a long shot, wide angle.
I think it's like they grab each other's, they slide their weapons back to each other, and they're going for the thing. But that could be it though. I have to watch that one.
I want to say that Spike slices Vicious in half.
That'd be cool if they did. That would make sense though.
Because I was watching that episode.
You see blood come down, so that could be it. I have to watch it again. But then if you look though. It's the small things that show. That
Spike wasn't the one who was slashed in half.
Yeah, Spike wasn't. Well, it's the small things. It's the small things. Well, Spike was already been dying of blood loss right there, but who knows? I'll have to watch it again. But it's the small things, because when Spike, the last episode, Jet goes to talk to Laughing Bull, the old Indian guy, and he says this whole mystic thing, like, when a warrior dies, his star falls. This one star falls, this other star dies out. His star is glimmering, it's about to die out. Now, if you watch the end of that episode, and it's panning, after Spike dies, it pans up to space, and it just keeps on going and going and going.
And everything.
And if you look, it stops, and in the center of the screen, there's one star falls, another goes out right there. Mm-hmm. Then it cuts to like this very beautifully illustrated picture of Spike just laying there dead. It just says
smile on it.
Smile. It says, "You got to carry that weight" from Beatles' Golden Slumber. So that show right there, it's just like a perfect show to me.
Yeah, it's just perfect. It's also those ones like, as much as you almost would want to see more Cowboy Bebop, I think almost what makes it perfect is that it is just 26 episodes in a movie. Mm-hmm. You could make so many stories because you'd have all these kind of backstories. You could do so much of Cowboy Bebop. You could make 100 episodes of Cowboy Bebop, really.
Yeah.
There's enough material there. But I think that's almost what makes it a better story is by having almost less.
Exactly. And it's one of those shows that just, it knew where to stop. Because Shiroko Watanabe even said, like, look...
Oh, that's like the director of it.
The director, yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's
the creator, too.
The director, and there's the writer, like, Nebo...
The guy who created the idea of Cowboy Bebop.
Well, it was written by a girl. The girl, it's the same...
It's a girl? Oh, that was a guy.
Maybe there's two, maybe there's multiple people, but, like, it was, I
can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head or whatever, but...
The girl she also wrote Wolf's Rain. But anyway,
because the guy who created Cowboy Bebop didn't like have anything to do with the show of him having his name. He probably was like creative, like consultant, but he wasn't the director or the writer or anything like that.
Possibly, yeah, something around those lines. I don't know as much about the history of how the show got made as I should, but it was one of those things where they said, look, we got something awesome here. Let's just quit while we're ahead because we don't want to be one of those animes that just goes on and on.
Well, the only downfalls to a lot of animes is they just go too long.
Mm-hmm.
They go, it's like, okay, you don't need 350 episodes of this. It's just like...
I love Dragon Ball Z, but really...
Well, Dragon Ball Z is one of those ones, strange enough, even though that one goes on forever, though, that one's still, like... I've never complained too much on that one, like...
You could sum Season 3 up in 5 or 6 episodes.
Season 3 is one of my biggest complaints, is it's, like, literally just one long battle that takes place on, like, 40 episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
But other than sometimes summing it up... Well, because they did that to Dragon Ball Z Kai, and then, like, they summed it up, and to me, I'm kind of, like, watching it, and I was like... You summed it up too much. Mm-hmm. You give me fucking like the Cliff Notes version of Dragon Ball.
Well,
I don't want that much. I don't want that summed up. I mean, you cut the clatter, but don't take out cool things in it.
Well, a lot of the filler in Dragon Ball Z, that was because, if I remember correctly,
they wanted to keep it with the comic book.
They didn't want to pass the manga. They didn't want to precede the manga. Mm-hmm. So they said, let's take our time with it. Let's really extend these battles out so we never pass it, so we have something to pull from. Where
other ones just say like, 2 of them are released. Fuck these guys. Let's do whatever we want.
Where Hellsing and Full Metal Alchemist, the original Full Metal Alchemist show, both said, well, we're passing it up, so fuck it, we're gonna go do our own thing now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But even Full Metal Alchemist, for example, like they stop at like around 50 episodes. Like that's a perfect place. They didn't go on for like ever.
Yeah, 50 episodes in a movie.
Yeah, a couple movies, so yeah, that's not a bad thing. But yeah, even like the Cowboy Bebop, like I love like just the music in it, just like it's a mix of like jazz and blues 90% of the time. It's just, but it's like sometimes so simple and so like they also got like the set. Well, they kind of like that
so often,
and they got like that kind of like 60s kind of like Johnny Quest style of like the theme song and stuff like that. Yeah. Like the kind of like sort of like I guess you could say adventure music.
Yeah.
But just like there's just something about like it's like when they got like the slide guitar in there, and it's just all it is. It's just a single slide guitar, and it's not even playing the whole time. It just kind of plays like a couple notes and then pauses and then plays a couple more. Mm-hmm. And even sometimes like the piano, like the jazz piano, and it's just slow and smooth. Mm-hmm. Or in that episode where they have the kid that plays the harmonica, that's always really cool.
I like that episode, Sympathy for the Devil, but I'm pretty sure they're Stones fans because there's like 5 or 6 episodes named after Stones songs.
Well, I think it just kind of has like that kind of like sort of those 60s, 70s classic rock bands, like whether it be Stones, Beatles.
They got not songs by not just like episodes named after, not just references, but they got like the Rolling Stones, several episodes. They got Queen. They got Aerosmith. They got Toys in the Attic is the name of an episode.
Yeah, that's one of the episodes.
Bohemian Rhapsody, and then
they
got Led Zeppelin. Isn't the episode about Jet's home? Isn't it like about the girl that? That's called Black Dog, right?
Yeah, Black Dog. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in there, but it's just it's one of those shows just so amazing, just perfect. You can't even ask for a better show than that almost.
Yeah, it is one of those things because I have a friend. I've mentioned this guy several times on the podcast, and I really want to bring him on, but he's not a fan of anime, and I've had to twist his arm a few times and watching some stuff. He's like, man, it's just not my thing. I really don't give a shit. And then I showed him Firefly, and I was thinking, well, because the thing is, he lives way up in the woods, and he can't get cable out there, and he doesn't have internet, so every so often he'll borrow something from me. So I let him borrow Firefly. I'm like, here's a show, I think he'll like it. I don't know if he'll love it, but I think he'll like it. Let him borrow Firefly. He's like, oh my god, dude, I watched the thing completely through 2 times over the weekend. I just wish there was more. Like, there's a movie. Like, there's a fucking movie, So next week, he goes out and buys Firefly.
Serenity.
Yeah. He buys Firefly, and I let him borrow Serenity.
Okay.
And he's still going to get Serenity eventually. And then, I'm like, all right, now I know we've talked about the whole anime thing before, but I think this one you'll like, because I'm pretty sure this inspired Firefly. Pretty sure it's one of the inspirations for Firefly. Just check it out. Let me know what you think. He's like, all right, I'll choke it down and see what happens. And He's getting into it. He likes it. He's one of those things. It's like
the Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, he likes Cowboy Bebop. It's one
That's
of those.
good. Well, I think with anime, this is how it is. If people they see kind of like in a sense the kiddier animes where they're kind of wacky and stuff like that, and that throws people off. You gotta sit somebody down, and it's just like a movie. That's like showing somebody, like, if you're trying to, like, say if you're just trying to take live action movies in general. It's like, say somebody just never saw a movie.
Yeah.
And they sort of maybe had an idea of what a movie was, but they never sat down and really watched it. And that's like trying to, to them, it's like maybe their idea is that, like, well, everything is like fucking like this, happy fun time cartoon bullshit, I don't want to see that Pixar crap. I don't want to see any of this. You're like, well, that's not a fucking movie. Let me show you what a movie here. And you give them, like, a real movie. Like, here, check out Pulp Fiction. Here's a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. And they're like, oh, well, this is fucking great. And that's kind of how it is with anime. I think people get stuck looking at this kind of, like, in a sense, the kid anime stuff, and they just think that's what all anime is.
That's what they do think a lot of it is a lot of time. Some people, they really just can't get past the fact that it's animated. Because even he was...
some people, there's this, I think there's this old mentality built in of, like, olden day Americas.
Not funny.
Where it's just one of those ones, like, you're an adult, you shouldn't be watching animation, you shouldn't be looking at comic books. If it's drawn... you shouldn't be doing it. Like, almost like, literally, like, there's a father that runs in, and every single time you, like, look at a cartoon picture of throwing cartoon, he just backhands this kid. And this is...
You're a disappointment, Billy! Bam.
So now, when Billy's 35 years old, he's sitting there like, no, anime's for fags. And, cartoons are for fags. Comic books are for fags. Dad said so. Why would Dad lie? And I think there's just this mentality that's been built into people that... and that's why it's hard for them to accept that, like, there's adult animation nowadays, and for the last fucking, like, 30 years... but people still, it's just one of those, I think it's a hard mold to break, and I think it's one of those ones, as time goes on, we'll have more people that are more used to it. But even still nowadays, like, I try to tell people, I'm like, they'll be like, oh my god, man, those Batman live action movies are great. I'm like, you think those are fucking great, dude? Have you seen the animated DCU ones? And they're like, I never even heard of these ones. I'm like, it's just one of those, I just think in people's radar, it's animation. Like, why would I check that out?
It's one of those things, because, like, I remember, same person. I let him borrow Under the Red Hood. He's like, I don't think I'm gonna like it because I like Dark Knight, but I wasn't blown away. I like it. It was a good movie, but I don't know if I like comics that much. I let him watch Under the Red Hood. He thought it was one of the best Batman movies made. Exactly,
and I think it's one of those ones. If you just introduce people to the right thing, I think they'll just like it.
I also think that it's one of those things that sometimes. I mean, I'm not trying to bring down all anime or anything. I think sometimes they try and sell all anime off as, oh, it's an adult thing. But it's just like, well, technically, because you look at some of the shows on Adult Swim, some of the anime shows on Adult Swim, they're not all really adult shows. A lot of them are kid shows.
Well,
it's just Japan's...
Even though Adult Swim's called Adult Swim, though, it's technically more of a teenage channel. When you really break it down, that's almost what its target audience is, kids from the age, like, 13 to, like, 22 or something. Like, I'd probably say that's... when Adult Swim sits down, that's probably what they're going, like, these are our target audience. People in about 7th grade all the way up to college. That's probably the biggest target audience. Even though it's called Adult Swim, because I remember when Adult Swim came out, I was like, oh, these are probably made for like 30-year-olds.
Well, I'm thinking back on like Fooly Cooly, because I love that show.
That's a great show, but that show's like... you
cannot show that
You have
to
really enjoy anime first off to enjoy that show.
And it's one of those things, that show does have some weirder, deeper meanings to it, but that's another example.
It's like way too out there.
Like, I don't know if I go as far as call it a kid's show. It's definitely fucking weird.
I wouldn't call that one a kid's show.
But it's definitely fucking weird. But here, an example of, like, okay, Inuyasha was on Adult Swim. See, that's a kid's show.
Well, those are like I was gonna say, like, they're kind of like the teen shows in a sense.
Teen shows,
yeah. And a lot of times, originally, it's kind of like Tenchi Muyo and stuff. Those shows that, like, their target audience is kids between the age 10 to, like, 17 or so.
Which, I mean, it's a roughly PG-13, but it's still one of those things, like, it's kind of like, I think people have the mentality... like, I remember the mentality I got when I was a kid. Like, they're swearing in it, so it's totally mature. So that means my parents won't think it's stupid or something. Like, now it's just, then it's like, no. It's just their rating system works differently. And they could swear in kid cartoons there. Or they had programming intended directly to teenagers, animated programming.
Well, because, like, in Japan, everything's, like, separated to, like, this is for this audience, this is for this audience. Where in America, it's kind of like, it's either for kids or for adults. There's no in-between. Like, it's a PG-13 movie, I guess, but... There's
kind of like a block of Cartoon Network programming. Not Toonami, but it was like pre-Toonami. Not pre
You mean like when they used to have, like, Gundam and Sailor Moon?
Not that.
Voltron.
I was mixing up phrases here.
Speed Racer.
It would come on before... It would come on, like, after Toonami, but before... like Adult Swim, and it was programmed directly aimed at teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like, there's a show, it's a really stupid fucking grass show called 16, just about a bunch of kids hanging out in the mall.
Oh,
and
this is like modern stuff.
There's
We're not
modern
like
stuff.
Old.
And I don't know if this show's still on, but the show is just about like, 15, 16-year-old kids hanging out in the mall. Really stupid, but the thing is, they actually it wasn't. There was like certain jokes that you would not get if you were like. It was more from the directive of high school kids rather than being middle school or elementary school kids.
Yeah, like they literally said this is our target audience, no more, no less.
They talked about like makeout sessions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like shit that like nobody around the age. If you weren't between 14 probably and 18, you probably 14 and 16.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't even give a fuck.
Yeah, and then like they even said things you usually wouldn't hear in kids program, like, oh man, we are so screwed, or I think they even said hell once or twice. So it's kind of like, all right, yeah, it's like PG. It's not. It's still a kids show, but it's more.
It's PG. You know, it's not technically like I guess a kids show now. Now it's
teenager,
like a teen show.
But still roughly walk away with a PG rating.
Yeah. Well, the one thing when it comes to showing people the anime too, even the best animes, because even Cowboy Bebop has this too. There's always one character, mostly in every anime, that's just like it's the make or break character. In Cowboy Bebop, it's Ed, and I really think the exact.
Ed's actually not so bad. Watch it.
Here's the thing about like Ed. I don't think Ed's actually. I don't really think Ed's that bad. I think they could tone Ed down a bit. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that character-wise, Ed is totally fine, but I think Ed could be toned down about half.
Yeah.
If she was just halfway toned down, I think she'd be, instead of being kind of like the tube, I don't know, in Japan there's always those characters that have like tube features where like their arms just kind of flow like with no bones attached or something, and they're
she does that every so often.
Kind of like that pirate kid in the One Piece and stuff. I
never got into that show.
I never. That's
like another example.
I feel like that show is past my time. That's past my time.
That's like apparently it's like one of the biggest shows in Japan.
Oh yeah, that's just been huge forever.
It's one of those shows though. I think it is one of those kind of like you have to be like between the ages of like 10 and 15 probably at this point.
Well, I think with that a lot of shows because it's like I liked Inuyasha when I was younger, but it's like that's one of those shows like if I went to go sit down and watch it right now, if I've never seen it before, I'd probably be like, the fuck?
I didn't give a fuck about Inuyasha. It was one of those shows because
I still enjoyed that one. See, that was one of those ones I enjoyed it. I don't know.
I guess I just got tired. I understand it's an archetype, but it's just one of those things like the character like I don't give a damn, and the girl's just all like, but I really like you, but I don't care about you either. They're always constantly going bickering, going back and forth.
Bickering, yeah.
The slow eventual, oh yeah, they're gonna become lovers or whatever.
Someday they're gonna fuck. You just know it.
Yeah, and then they have the cute little like squirrel guy that's always there, and then it was just kind of like. And then, like, the whole time, it's like, we gotta capture a piece of this stuff. So it's one of those shows, one of those formulas.
Well, that thing goes on. That's like 178 episodes of that show.
I thought it was more than that. Wasn't it like 300 something?
It is. Fuck, I don't know.
And then it ends.
That show's a lot longer than it needs. That show is like one of the shows that could probably be about like a 40-episode show, and it just goes way too long.
And after all that, from what I hear, I never saw, but from what I hear, they never catch the man in the baboon suit.
Huh.
The bad guy, whatever.
Yeah,
they never catch that dude, as far as I understand. So it's kind of.
Well, that was one of those shows. Like it kind of like. Once I realized that show was just going to go on and on, it was like, okay, then I tuned out after that. It was like, after about season 2, I think, I was like, yeah, okay, you're just dragging this along now.
Yeah.
And it's like, like, as a kid, I can see this, and that's a bad thing. If, like, if your show's dragging along and, when you're younger, you're like, no, this is fucking...
Another example, like Full Metal Alchemist, like that's a good show.
That's a good example of a show that's it's made for, like, in a sense, teenagers, but you could watch it as an older person.
Well, it has some heavier themes in it, and there's blatantly what were just kind of like allegories for the times and all that within the show.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be one of those things, it's like you watch an episode, it's kind of like, we're having a birthday party, woo! It's all wacky and crazy. Oh, the girl's pregnant, we gotta deliver her yet. Just one of those crazy, silly, wacky, funny, silly episodes. And then next episode, this little girl, this dog, they're fucking dead.
They're combined together, and then I had to kill it.
Yeah.
Because it's an abomination.
Yeah.
It's so sad. The only thing is, when I went back and watched Full Metal Alchemist, it's one of those shows, like, I like it for the most part, but it's whenever they have like the really like wacky stuff in it, the wacky anime stuff, that's where it's kind of like loses me as like an older person. I'm like,
I
don't like when Ed goes like, ah! And his like face is all simple, and Al's like, oh, I didn't mean to.
He turns all tiny, very undetailed.
And then the chick or whatever gets all like pissed, and her head gets ginormous, and like she
sharp
slaps
teeth,
Ed, and like
spinning around like a tornado in midair.
Yeah, those are the things I just don't like in anime. Actually, is when I get older too, it's like, no, I don't like that stuff. See, at least in Cowboy Bebop, you don't see fucking Spike do that, like, to fucking spin in a tornado. Fucking go. Not even Ed does that.
I had to be like, whoa, chill out.
Chill the fuck out.
What the fuck just happened?
You know, that's the only thing is like. I think that's why like in the 80s anime they don't have like any of that, or at least I don't remember any of that stuff in it.
You see early spots of it like in 80s anime, not to that like all over the top, like, you know, big heads, like wavy arms type of shit. But there would be things to that element, like
I think
Dragon Ball Z.
but they didn't put it like, I guess, in the shows they brought to America, because there's a big difference between the shows that we were shown and the shows that were shown in Japan. And now we're at the point where Japan's like, fuck, we can show them anything.
Yeah.
They'll take any of this shit now. Before, we were very selective because we didn't think they'd enjoy it unless it was pretty serious.
Well, after Pokemon got big, anime just kind of...
It just exploded.
Anime exploded. And then it was probably big for about 7 years. And they just said, people don't give a shit about anime anymore. Why? Oh, well, Speed Racer and Dragon Ball didn't do so good in theaters. So, and I think after that... Plus, they also saw anime sales were going down. And I think it's like, well, people are just pirating because they don't want to pay companies like ADV
$30 for a DVD back in the day.
If I can go back in time and do anything, this is very selfish, but I'd probably say, do not buy $30 DVDs of anime per DVD, because at some point these would be $15
for the whole set.
For the whole fucking set. Just fucking wait. Don't do it, because when I mean, I'm sad some of the people lost their job. I'm sad people lost jobs when ADV went under. It's like, fucking serves you right. You're like. Who is your target audience at that time? Probably most likely people between the age of 10
and
20. Yeah. And I remember going there. It's like, you want to buy this Outlaw Star set? Like, yeah, I do. Guess what, bitch? It's $50 fucking bucks. Like, you don't have it like in smaller sets? No, we got this huge fucking set right here. $50, 3 DVDs. Fucking buy it. You know?
You didn't have any other choice though. There was no other way to watch it.
Now everything just got pirated, so that's why.
Like it blew my mind when I first saw like the Netflix streaming. I was like, look at all the anime. I mean, it's not like it's the fact that it's like necessarily like the greatest anime shows, but it's just those ones like the concept of being able to watch this much anime would blow my mind at 10 years old. Because at 10 years old, you were lucky if you got you know, a couple anime shows a week. Like you had to scour the networks to find that stuff. It wasn't just anywhere.
It'd be out like 11 o'clock at night or something.
Like the Action Channel, when they used to have it at like midnight, they'd show like the really good like 80s ones like Appleseed and like New Domain Tank Police or Dominion Tank Police and Blue Seed and Street Fighter V and
there's some shows that like they have that nostalgia to me, like Outlaw Star. It's kind of like I see its flaws, but it has some of those cliches. But I have some nostalgia to that show, and I ultimately think it's a fun, good show.
It's not like Voltron, which I was like, man, I remember Voltron was fucking badass. And I sit down at the DVD set, and I was like, that character is so fucking annoying.
The green one.
The green guy's like, I am a nerd, man. And it's like, no. And it was like, please have Japanese option.
Didn't have Japanese option?
Didn't have Japanese. Like, fuck. Okay, Voltron, you're getting sold. I'm sorry. I tried 2 episodes and I just couldn't handle it.
You bought this set and resold it?
Yeah, well, I only paid like $3 for it.
Oh, okay, ain't so bad.
But yeah. Yeah. So sometimes there's some things that like aren't nearly as good, but.
Like sometimes you get a show and sometimes the concept and the animation design outweighs it. Well, not the animation, but like Trigun, for instance. That was a show like. Love the concept. I love the character design. Since I'm working more in animation now I actually look for more, like, actually have a lot more respect for character design and just concepts and all that kind of stuff. Overall, I like the show for the most part, but there are episodes and there are, like, moments where it's just like, Jesus Christ, enough with the fucking cat ears and the, like, donuts! I gotta eat all the fucking donuts! Enough of that.
And then that's where you just realize you just kind of need adult, like, anime shows by this point. You're like...
Well, the thing is, the show could be extremely adult and extremely, like, heavy-handed when it wanted to be.
And then it could just flip on you. And
like Full Metal Alchemist,
and I don't know if that's just, like, an anime thing in general that, like...
Japanese thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because you see it a lot. You'll see a show that you could show one person an episode and then they'd see like next one and be like, "Fuck this show."
There's an episode where
I thought it was gonna be good, but no.
There is an episode where there's like, you've seen Trigun. There's a lot of silly.
I watched at least half of them.
There's a lot of silly, wacky episodes, and I'm going to tell you this one episode where it shows Vash's and Knives' their history. They're on because what happens is that planet, that little desert planet they go to, that's colonized. They're like a bunch of people from Earth were colonizing on other planets because Earth got overpopulated and overpolluted. And the team that's going there, Knives apparently has mental powers that can control people. They don't show it. They show enough to imply, and they say it he made one of the guys rape a girl on that ship. Raped her, and then like, what do they do? Like you know, they, aside from just flat out saying like, but he raped me, saying that, they shoot the guy out into like a space lock.
That's
cool.
cool.
And they shoot him out into space. So it's one of those things like.
So it had dark shit in it, but then in the next thing you know, donuts!
Yeah, don't exactly.
And then you get the exaggerated faces and so on.
Now, I'm not saying that right there automatically makes it a good show, but I'm saying that right there, it's like, okay, it's heavy-handed, so
you get something serious.
Exactly.
But, other than that, though, it's like, yeah, they just kind of...
I think one of the things that made it go down, ultimately, which made Suncoast... When I think back on Suncoast, we were going back to, like, DVD prices of anime and all that, because they'd usually be, like, $30... if you were lucky.
And it was like $15 with VHS, because I was like, I bought, for the couple ones I got, I was like, I wish I could get on DVD, I'm just going to get the VHS.
When the anime craze died down, that's when Suncoast died.
It really did?
I think, because I remember there was one time going to, like, I was buying, like, a birthday present for my friend. I'm like, he likes Kung Fu movies, and I'm already here, I'll buy him Ung back. And waiting in line, I just grabbed Ung back. Just grabbed it. I'm just sitting there waiting in line. I look at $27.99. Are you fucking kidding me? You know?
Yeah, just like no fucking way.
Exactly. So.
And pretty much what happened is in the late 2000s, anime died down, and then I guess comic book movies came back up. Yeah, I went digital. Because it seems like the anime thing, there was like this kind of boom for a bit, and now it's kind of like the animes went back to being more like a subculture of like people. Like there's certain people that really like anime a lot, but it's not as like there's like a little bit of a more widespread time.
They're trying to. That company Rooster Teeth, the guys that did all the Red vs. Blue Halo stuff. They have a lot more than that, but
that's what they're always.
That was their big
like their
one.
big thing.
That's their flagship. Yeah, they have now, because now it's kind of amazing. You see what some people become, because they've started off like, okay, capture card, get all this stuff like Halo, make them say funny shit. Now they have a full-on production company, and they have a cel-shaded anime series called Ruby. Ruby spelled with a W. So. I watched the first 2 episodes of it. It is kind of like a little bit of like the kind of standard, kind of like cliche-ish anime tropes. I mean, there's some things about it that are good. Like the animation's really good. The character designs are cool. Kind of different, but still, it's one of those things like they are trying to bring it back, so that's cool for them.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of like, well, you notice a lot of American style stuff. You see a lot of anime influence. That's like the key thing. I feel like the full-on Japanese stuff, because Japan's just not nearly as popular. Perfect example is look at video games. I mean. The average person doesn't play any more Japanese video games. They're only playing like American crap and like European stuff. But almost very few people I ever talk to play Japanese things.
A lot of Call of Duty this day and age and Madden.
It's always Call of Duty, Madden. But then even like, and there's nothing wrong with these games. They're all still good games. But then you get, Gears of War. That's an American game. Assassin's Creed. That's a French game.
People are going shit over Destiny, which isn't out yet.
Yeah, I don't even know about that one.
That's the new Bungie title.
Oh yeah, I did look at that one. You got that one. I mean, then you just get things like BioShock, and you get Fallout, and you get all these big games, or and Skyrim.
Good games.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with the games, but like, I always look at people like, fucking traitors. Like, we're like, cause some of these people, it's like, I'm like, did you play New Zelda? And they're like, no. I'm like, what the fuck were you doing?
Well, the thing with Nintendo is, even though I love
I'm just saying Nintendo. I'm just saying Japanese games in general. It's just like. It's just sad to see that they're not nearly as popular as they used to be.
They'll come back. Everything comes and goes in waves.
Yeah, waves are, the thing of life.
That's going to happen. It's technically right now, the hipster movement, in some ways, it's kind of like a fusion of the second coming of mod and grunge.
Well, hipsters is a 60s thing anyway.
It is. But I mean, it's kind of like some of the music.
And it goes back even far to like the 40s.
Yeah, you hear.
Probably farther than that.
Yeah, I know. But you hear some of the music that comes out, it sounds like, okay, this sounds like a fusion between like 70s kind of like mod stuff and grunge, kind of the folky stuff to it,
Well, speaking of a fusion, this actually has nothing to do with it, but we saw Kick-Ass 2, and okay, it was better than the first one in my opinion, but they did the exact they took the problem of the first one and fucking reversed it. So now in the first one, I'll just rephrase the problem of the first one. First one, Kick-Ass the movie. Kick-Ass is too stereotypical, not believable. That character's kind of lame. But I understand his kind of point, but bad writing. But Hit Girl and Big Daddy are amazing. Those are the characters that are really badass. Okay? So we go to the second one now. Kick-Ass is fucking cool. He's not stereotypical anymore. He's actually a really well-made character. They take Hit Girl, and it's not like her personality's she's changed a bit. And
Fish out of water.
at first they've changed, she's training, Kick-Ass. That's how the trailer kind of says, like, oh, Hit Girl's going to train Kick-Ass, and they're going to take on crime, with a bunch of, like, other, crime fighters. And what does she do? She goes, no, Mr. Black Man that raised me says I got to stop being this. Yeah, Marcus. I can't remember the guy's name. Well, I should have remembered that. I knew a black guy named Marcus. But, she's like, well, he doesn't want me to do it anymore, so I stick to my word, so I'm just going to go to school and be an average teenage girl. And this is where the movie just kind of like, it will like literally lose me and then pull me back up. It's kind of like a guy that's kicking you off a cliff, and then right before you're about to fall, he goes, oh, no, wait, come back up here. I don't want you to die yet.
Here's the thing. That's my only problem with the movie.
Well, I'm not even doing my
Okay, go ahead.
So when it shows, okay, all the Kick-Ass stuff is great. And I'm saying this, like, even Kick-Ass, I didn't like his fucking nerdy friends. His nerdy friends were fine in this movie. Like, everything about Kick-Ass was good. They got rid of his stupid girlfriend right in the beginning, just like, get her out of the fuck. And... Jim Carrey was badass. I liked his character a lot, so all the Kick-Ass stuff was cool. They were forming their own little Justice League and everything. And even Red Mist, McLovin, I don't know what the guy's real name is.
Christopher Michael Pence.
Yeah, there we go, that guy. That guy, like, the way his characters, he all rounded up and all his stuff with John Leguizamo and everything, that was good too. But Hit Girl, they shit on a good character like nobody's business. She has, like, one action scene in the beginning where she kills a couple of thugs in, like, the alley, or mutilates a couple guys. Mm-hmm. Beats up the other ones. And then after that, she puts away her costume, and they go through this. She goes to high school, and it's the most stereotypical bullshit. Like, it's not even realistic. It's horrible, shitty writing. And directing, because, writing and directing go hand in hand. Like, I really want to know, the guy who wrote the movie and the guy who directed it, did these guys even go to real high school? Because, like, where the fuck did they learn this stuff about?
Every 90s teen movie.
No, it wasn't 90s at all. It was nothing like a 90s.
I saw some...
It was just one of those ones, like... It was so unreal. It was just like the most stereotypical thing. Kind of like they did Kick-Ass in the first one. They kind of gave him like, what is a nerd? Like, look up nerd in the dictionary, and that's what Kick-Ass is going to be. Whatever it says a nerd is, that's who he is. What is he? He jerks off to his teacher. He likes comics. He's a loser. He's a fag. He's all this stuff in one. And it's just kind of like, okay. Like, he could just be a guy who happens to like comic books. What's wrong with that?
They get past that in the second one.
In the second one, that doesn't even come up in it, so that's kind of good. And then, yeah, it's just like, Hit Girl, she's just stuck in this world where it's just like these girls that just, they're just like written like, well, like, what's like an example of a teenage girl? She's bitchy, she thinks she's like number one, her friends, they're, it's just like, I don't know.
I saw like for the night.
It was so hard to believe, it was so hard for me to take that stuff serious in that.
Yeah, that was the major downer.
It took me really out of the movie.
It was the major downer part of the movie. And luckily it wasn't like all the movie, but it was a part of it. It was just one of those things.
I almost feel, okay, you could have taken that movie, you edited it down to like an hour and a half long movie and literally just chop off all of Hit Girl's high school scenes and just go from like, you know what, I'm going to have to go to high school for a bit and I'm taking a break. Oh, okay, well, we're going to go do our thing. And then the very end, like once like Kick-Ass's father dies, maybe she's like, okay, well, I got to come back and help you. Like at the funeral. You could have just done that. Just cut out all that bullshit in there.
Ultimately, I'm agreeing with you 100% there. I mean, usually I know sometimes we have a little bit of debate. I don't think it bothered me as much, but I still... That right there, whenever it cuts a Hit Girl in the high school shit, I was kind of like, really? Because the whole thing with her was, I didn't feel like she dropped down. She didn't annoy me. It was kind of a fish out of water story. And it was one of those things, she didn't have a childhood. So certain things were brand new to her. But it was like there's a part where she's going on a date with a guy. And they're going out to a kegger. For a second, you think he's gonna try and rape her or something like that.
Yeah, you're like a tick girl. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I was like, okay, he's gonna try and rape her, and she's gonna kick his ass, and then we're gonna get Hit Girl back. Cool. Yeah. But then, like, no, that doesn't happen. Then a bunch of the high school people come out like, oh yeah, we just came out here to ditch you and tell you you're a fucking loser and yada yada yada. I'm like, okay, Hit Girl's gonna lose her shit. She's gonna punch this chick. Everybody's gonna try to attack her, and she's gonna kick all their fucking asses.
Nope. She just takes it like a bitch.
Well, that's one
literally takes it like a bitch.
She starts to cry, and then like I felt bad for her, but at the same time, like
that's not my Hit Girl.
That's not yeah. It was just
that's not my Hit Girl. That's not the Hit Girl I grew up with.
Girl, you grew up with
one fucking movie,
2 years ago.
I make it sound like there was like this like season sets of like 7 seasons before we even got to this point. We're like they changed the character on us, and then it just was ones like it's just like they did stuff like that. And it's like ones to me is like okay. No fucking people aren't like okay. People in high school are mean, but they're not like that. That is so exaggerated to like the max. I mean,
they blatantly said, "I am the popular girl. This is why. Why."
Yeah, and she just like okay. We have met people that like to define themselves, but people don't just say
Not
like,
to a textbook
I'm
way.
yeah, they don't go like, I'm the popular girl, and let me explain why. You know, this is how you should. They don't say shit like that. It's just
They literally spell it out for you so for old people like, oh, so this is what the high school's like today.
Billy, you're not going to high school anymore. You're being homeschooled from now on. This movie shows us everything.
I'm gonna train you to be a superhero. Fuck this high school shit.
Yeah. Go put on your dad's gloves downstairs. But I don't like violence. You're gonna like it now.
I was a numb, Billy. I lived off violence.
I mean, I was just a photographer, but I'm gonna show you some sick shit of these photos I took.
No, but anyway,
But really, here's the thing: is like, if you disregard like that hit girl stuff, which is absolute shit. I will say, like, I was literally talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, dude, I haven't really seen like a bad movie at all this year. I'm like, dude, we see a movie like fucking every week, and I don't think I've seen a single bad movie. And then it's just like these scenes are like, okay, this is the shit I was talking about, like the bad movie I haven't seen. Well, they all built up into these like little 10-minute block scenes.
and if those scenes weren't there, though, everything else in the movie's fine.
I think those movies, if those weren't there, and as I said, if you just edit them out, I think that movie could actually be a really high movie.
It's still a good movie.
I still enjoyed it, but it's one of those ones like when sometimes things like that. There's small things in movies. If it frustrates me enough, I'll have a hard time watching that movie over again. I'll say that because I'll keep seeing those scenes and be like, and they're not like those things like kind of like in Thor, like the 5 lines that ruin me. Okay, because I can bypass a stupid line because this movie has some kind of stupid lines in it too, and a line's a line.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're full on, like you're gonna take a half an hour out of my like watching experience every single time I watch this, that might ruin it for me. I might have to go back to like that. You know, do you ever remember when you were a kid and there's always that one kid who used to like fast forward through shit?
He didn't
He's
like.
yeah, well, I don't like this scene's kind of boring. I'm just gonna fast forward through it. And you're like, I've never seen this before. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I remember. You don't meet anybody like that nowadays, or I don't know if there's older people out there like that. But when you're a kid, there's always some kid who just like you're over at his house and you're gonna watch the movie his way. Yeah, he's like, this scene's boring. They talk too much.
Yeah,
But maybe I'll have to be that kid if I have to watch this movie again. I don't know.
I totally look everything involving.
But here's the thing: I'll say that's the fucking kick-ass stuff. I'll say that's 4 out of 4. I'll say that stuff's all 4 out of 4. And the other stuff,
Jim Carrey
is 0 out of 0 or 0 out of 4.
0's out of 0.
0 out of 0. You know, it's not bad. It's not good.
It broke even. Yeah. No.
Oh,
No.
Jim Carrey was great.
Jim Carrey. Look, the McLovin character. I feel bad because that guy is trying so hard to break out of that.
Well,
and
that
he
guy,
shows
I
up
will
this
say
movie.
that guy has not aged that well. He just looks. The older he gets, the nerdier he looks.
Even when he's trying to like goth up a little bit.
Well, I think is what happens is like he's got a very nerdy look, and when you're a kid, you're nerd. It's like, oh, he's kind of like a cute nerd. And now he's just like, and it's just like kind of growing on him like even more, like he's becoming like a monster sort of. I mean, like a bad way like that, but he just looks really fucking nerdy.
I liked what they did with him in this movie because he wasn't playing that same character.
Like the McLovin.
Well,
that actually is a pretty good character, though. I mean, or that actor, pretty good character. That actor's a pretty good actor. Because I've only seen him about like 5 movies or something like that, but he's always been pretty. They've always been good movies.
Yeah, I thought he does a good job in this.
Like Role Models, that was a good one too.
Mm-hmm. I thought right here what they did, the problem what they had with this movie was just generally what you said. Just they kept on like too much of the high school shit, and if you just chop that off, then got a good movie.
It's one of those too. It's like, what is the rating of this movie?
R.
Why do I have to see so much high school bullshit? I didn't come here to see. You know.
She does the ending of the high school thing. It could have been better. I would have liked to see her kick ass, but she does is she gets a sick stick, like a riot patrol kind of device, which it makes, I guess it throws hormones out of balance or whatever. It makes you vomit and shit your pants. And she goes to the 3 most popular girls
and hits it's like that's a cool scene, but it's just one of those ones
that's
like
too much shit you gotta build up.
I just feel like one of those ones like the movie really should have just been from the get go hit girl and fucking kick ass. Like, whose fucking retarded idea was it not to be? I haven't read the comic book, and I'd like to just kind of look at the comic book just to see it because it probably is pretty different. I mean, the core story's probably similar, but I mean.
I flipped through it, and there's some things that were ripped right out of the comic book and thrown in there. And I was like, fuck, I already got several spoilers. I already know how his dad's going to get killed in a prison. I know, so it's things like that. And I don't know if Night Bitch, because in the book, because that rape scene was going to... The movie, it implies maybe she just got slapped around, like maybe she didn't get raped. Mm-hmm. But in the book, I think she may have actually got raped and killed. I'm not sure. I flipped through it. So I want to grab that book and read it. But there's the part where I thought, because like you said, like the friends were annoying. Like Clark Duke, the guy who plays...
I hate that in general. That nerdy guy with like the glasses who's kind of a little chunky. That guy's always bothered me in movies. I always look at that guy, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking punch that kid. And, you know, in this movie, he wasn't nearly as bad. So if I don't want to punch
like
that
Captain
kid...
America in this movie. You know, those characters.
Yeah, because he had like a shield.
Mm-hmm. And he has like the star on his head and all that.
Uh-huh. And, you know, he wasn't that bad. The other friend just kind of was there. He actually didn't really bother me. But that one guy, he was kind of bothering me. I guess because he kind of like, he looks like one of those kind of like nerdy douche kind of guys. Like, you know, the guy who like, you know, no matter what you said, he'd find a way to make a joke out of it. And he'd be like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. You're the only one that laughs at your stupid jokes.
Well, there's the one friend that's they've been kind of blowing off the whole time. Then he becomes a villain. I thought it was just kind of.
I like when he becomes like he literally becomes like Professor Zoom, kind of like.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of Professor Zoom.
He's like Reverse Flash, or Reverse Kick-Ass.
I thought it was funny when he goes to the bad guys, and it's kind of a cross between being funny and kind of serious at the same time. But he's all like, "That's actually Kick-Ass's dad." Like, what? He's like, "Yeah, it's Kick-Ass's dad." Like, "Oh, you can say here, VIP, man. Like, you're not going to tell me you're doing." "Oh no, we're totally fine. Don't worry about it." You know, it's like that part. But then they come back around. I understand why, because in real life he's just like, "Oh shit, you wouldn't say nothing." But then he joins in, helps him. Ultimately, Kick-Ass's dad dies because of his friend acts like spilling beans on that, and then just being a dumbass.
That's one of those ones. Like, later on, that guy's probably like, "Fuck, I can't tell him anything." He's just like one of those ones like. Kick-Ass is like, you know, I always kind of wondered how they knew that was my father.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I have no idea.
God, I wonder how that happened.
What were you doing hanging out then? I'm like, oh no, I followed you guys here.
You know,
like,
I
okay.
was kind of planning on. I was going the inside here. Inside man.
Oh, I get you. Right on. Good thinking, man. Yeah.
You know, at some point though, that's gonna happen, and fucking gonna break up, just like beat that guy's head, and like, you fucking killed my father.
He's gonna put it together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, this movie was one of those flip rounds where they made Kick-Ass actually a pretty good character.
No, yeah, because one of the ones, it's fine to say, it's like, because I really didn't like Kick-Ass in the first one. That was like almost like the thing that ruined the first one for me. And this one's like, no, Kick-Ass is the one thing that doesn't ruin the movie for me. I actually really like him, and the way he's presented in this one's better. Because now he's kind of the point where it's like, okay, he's not the best fighter, and he's not that, the whole point is that he's just there as a symbol more than anything else, but he's improved.
He's more the way he was in the first comic to me. Maybe he's like this in the second comic, but in the first comic, that was the thing. He was like...
He could get his ass beat, but he could also, you know, give an ass beating, I guess you could say.
At the same time, yeah. Where in the movie, he was just getting his ass kicked the whole time. Where this one, it comes back around, and he's like, okay, he actually knows, he has a better idea of what he's doing. And
I love because like there was all these trainings, and at the very end, there's the part where like he's doing like the one-arm pull-up, and it's like, other than like the final beat after the credit scene, it's just, he just does one-arm pull-up and then, like, goes to, like, the credits and I think stuff. And that's what I was because, like, a one-arm pull-up's, like, a pretty difficult move. So I was like, you know that guy's like, he's like, I've been fucking training for, like, 2 months. Dude, I learned how to do a one-arm pull-up. Put that scene in the movie. I want that. I did a one-arm pull-up. That better be on fucking film.
Or they, like, twist his arm into doing it. Like, I really don't know, but I'll do my best. And he does it, like, okay, how is that? Aaron, you're gonna be mad. But just chill for a second. Like,
lens cap is on. You know, it happens. It happens. Sometimes, you know, you're just looking through and you think you're seeing it, but then you just realize your mind's playing tricks on you again, and you feel like you're on the set of Apocalypse Now.
Oh, fuck. We're gonna try this tomorrow. Director's in a fucking
okay, we gotta go get the helicopter set. What the helicopter set up again? It's just me doing a one-arm pull-up. Yeah, but the helicopter's supposed to fly by in the back. You know.
Yeah.
Movie magic.
Stock shots. No, that was, ultimately, yeah, I'm pretty much.
But it's one of the ones like all the kick-ass scenes. I think are just. I think they're good. You know, I'm not gonna say like amazing. I think they're actually just really good.
One thing
I did enjoy it.
I just noticed this small thing. I just feel the need to say it. Does not bring the movie down or bring it up in any way. Just a thing I noticed, and I feel the need to point it out. When they're in Kick-Ass's room, like his bedroom, there's
the Mark Millar poster.
What?
The Mark Millar poster.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that. I noticed that. I was like, oh, superior, cool, right on. There was a bottle of ketchup on his like shelf. I just feel like pointing that out. Like, the fuck's a bottle of ketchup just doing on his shelf?
What's he with that?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if he uses that like where it's like if there's like ketchup's blood on his clothes. You're like, Dad, I was just you know.
Maybe they're on lunch break or something, and they just kind of left they're just eating at the set. Like, all right, we're gonna let's get in the film, and then they just left it there by accident. I don't know.
It's just a weird. It's a weird thing.
We need something here. We need something here to like spruce up the room. I got an idea. Guy runs around the corner, comes back, puts
the caterer guy comes by, just sets that down. Okay.
Adds more color, right? I mean, it's all a lot of dark green in here. I'm like, all right, whatever, cool, I guess.
But no, really, I think it's like, yeah, if you. It's just one. I think what makes it sad is because I think the Hit Girl's a really, really cool character, and just the fact. I mean, she only has 2 action scenes in that entire movie. There's that little action scene in the beginning. I mean, just the part where I guess they're training a little bit in the beginning. But she has that one scene where she fights the thugs. And then, in the end, she just has the cool ending battle scene where they,
Everybody's
it's all
fighting.
the superheroes versus all the supervillains in this big battle, and
Best part of the movie, probably.
Yeah, best part of the movie, and she fights. Which another really cool character was that Russian character. I like that lady.
Mother Russia.
Yeah, well, that's cool about I want to say Red Mist, but that's not his name anymore.
Motherfucker.
Is that he gets all these people. He gets a Yakuza guy. He gets an ex-Soviet
UFC boxer.
Yeah. Well, there's Chuck Liddell's training him at first.
It's just Chuck Liddell's a fucking pussy. That part. He actually played himself out. That was kind of cool.
And then he got the black guy he was fighting in there. He got that in his team. So he got these kind of cool characters. There's the Mongol guy.
I like how John Leguizamo, who's generally his evil Alfred, as he put it. He's
much.
I'm your fucking butler. He turns around and says that. But no, he says to him, I like that part right there. He's all he says, which I wish John Leguizamo lived, or at least lived to see the final battle. Because he was one of my favorite parts of the movie. He's one of my favorite actors. I wish I saw
love
that dude
that guy
more
so much stuff. And he's an amazing actor.
I love that guy. Yeah.
I mean, I was watching Spawn, the '97 movie or whatever, the other day, and when he plays that clown, it's that's fucking amazing acting right there. That is really amazing acting. Because those ones, if nobody told you that was John Leguizamo, you'd never know.
You never would know.
Never would guess that.
That's Luigi.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Sure, it's not Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure. But no, it's that's
Bob Hoskins with insane clown posse makeup. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's how good of an actor he is.
But anyway,
you know what that really kick-ass does a story of? It's a story of people's fathers dying. When it really gets down to it, all the main characters, their father dies. Kick-Ass's father dies, Hit Girl's father dies, and Red Mist's father dies.
Yep.
They're all and that's almost like the core thing. What brings every single character what they have to do is their father dies.
Which I like the part because I was scared when they killed Jim Carrey. They're like, you want to kill the dogs? I was still because the one thing, as soon as I saw the dog, I'm like, I know it's an R-rated movie, I know it's more violent, it gets more edgy. I hope they don't kill the dog. Please don't kill the dog. And then he's the mother is like, you want me to kill the dog? I kill the dog? How fucking evil do you think I am?
I just fucking do that.
I love that line.
And I like some of the Russians then I will chop his head off.
Yeah.
Cool, go, that's fine.
Alright guys, get some food. He just walks out whenever
pizza.
Whether motherfucker just kind of he's just, it was almost just kind of they're hanging out, yeah, man, we're gonna be badasses, who's hungry, just those kind of things. And then there's the part where they have the shark comes back around, but he has a shark tank. He's like, is the shark fucking dead? The shark is just sitting at every villain.
This is laying on the bottom of the tank.
Says, I got a shark from my evil lair, and the shark is fucking dead. Great, he falls in the tank later and it eats all his limbs. There's
the Russian chick's well, you probably have to feed him.
Yeah. The post-credit scene, it's him, because you think Red Motherfucker dies.
Red Motherfucker.
Red Motherfucker, we'll just call him that. Which he falls into the tank, just gets pulled under, a bunch of blood comes up. Oh, shark got him. Okay, cool. And then, the post-credit scenes, he has no limbs, he's in a bed, he's just he's trying to reach a straw, but he can't.
Yeah.
So
he's somebody help me. You know how funny? Okay, say you're an older person, somebody between the ages 40 to 60 or even older. He came up to ask you well, what's Kick-Ass 2 about or stuff? It's well, it's about this guy named Kick-Ass who has to fight this guy named Motherfucker. Yeah, it's just one of those ones Kick-Ass decides to become a superhero one day, puts on the costume, and then, this girl named Hit Girl trains him, and they form up a little posse and everything, and they have to go fight a guy named Motherfucker. They'd be like,
a lot of people die.
What'd you say? Motherfucker, that's the guy's name. So John Leguizamo, you like him, right?
Oh, the Spawn guy, right.
Yeah, the clown.
And Luigi.
Like any old person probably would be oh, the Spawn.
Yeah.
It was funny because on the Spawn, if you watch special features on Spawn,
a long time ago.
Director's cut one, and the only reason this matches up is because I just saw the movie The Fighter with Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg. Todd McFarlane looks in those special features, all the interviews. He looks and talks just like Christian Bale in The fucking Fighter.
I never thought of that. He's
got the hat on, and he's kind of he looks kind of he's messed out. He's just kind of Sean's cool, fuck Batman, he fucking millionaire. Spawn, he's a poor guy.
I seen interviews with him. He's all he was talking about his toy company.
He's a smart guy, but just the way he talks and the way he moves, just it looks just like Christian Bale from The Fighter.
I didn't think of that. Yeah,
I think
Christian Bale, Todd McFarlane biopic.
I've seen pictures of Todd McFarlane, but I've never seen him talk. I've never seen this man talk.
I remember seeing him in interviews here and there, and just being kind of yeah, Spawn, he died, came back to hell, and blah, blah, blah,
He's she's a demon, but fuck the movie business. It's like, oh, it's just a demon. It's no different than any other movie.
Todd, we didn't get one fucking word of that. Let's try that again.
He's one of those guys, because he looks at me, he's like, he's got smart shit to say. And one thing just in the videos, he's like, well, the one thing I hate anything government, anything that's like that, I just fucking hate. You know what? Fuck those movies. Fuck the motion picture industry. They fucking suck. Todd, you're talking for the Warner Brothers. I think it's Warner Brothers, isn't it?
Probably. I think it's New Line.
Or yeah.
I'm not sure if they're
now
bought by
Warner
them.
Brothers, but back then I think it was New Line. I think that's before it was bought. It's like, this is the interview for the motion picture company. Well,
Fuck the motion picture company.
Fuck them. What do they know? I'm Todd McFarlane. I make action figures for fuck's sake.
Have you seen my new one? Holds it up.
It's me. It's what every boy wants.
I remember seeing him like in an interview for like it was Terminator. This is how long ago it was. Terminator 3 special features. He was talking.
Yeah.
He was talking about like how they made the toys for the Terminator toy line, Terminator 3 toy line.
Huh.
And he's just like,
those are sweet toys. I wish I bought them. I remember when they were on sale. I never did buy them.
He's all like, he says, we don't live in this age anymore where people say like, Tom, is that an Arnold Schwarzenegger toy? Are you a fucking loser? Are you an asshole? Like, no. They see action figures now. They're like, oh my god, that's amazing. Just like he gets really excited. Like he
really
did
does.
a line. Which I want to say this part Kick-Ass real quick, or not more like Hit Girl. I'm not sure if this is in Kick-Ass 2, but I think they made a reference to Kick-Ass 1, the first comic, which wasn't in the movie. Mm-hmm. There's a part in the comic when they're going to they're about to invade like the bad guys' building, and Hit Girl pulls out like this thing and just like she's like snorting it. Like, is that cocaine? Like, no, it's a special powder made to help us like super strong. It's like
adrenaline.
Yeah, well, she was like snorting powders. It's made by scientists. She turns her pupils are fucking huge, and she's just smiling the whole time. I don't know. That might be in the. It's a little different, but I think it might be like homaging the comic, unless that is an.
Where she shoots the adrenaline and she goes, her pupils get all dilated and changed.
Yeah, because they say like this is like a last resort, and that you think it's a suicide needle.
Yeah, and then she realized, nope, it's adrenaline. Which probably should fucking tell Kick-Ass that. I mean, like, you don't just.
They probably did, and they probably cut away.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones like, he's probably like, fuck man, I'm sitting on a spike, I'm gonna die. Oh, it's just more pain. Why am I living? Why do I have to suffer like this? She said it is the last resort. I'm impaled like Mortal Kombat here, and I'm smiling. I just want to fucking die.
Just smiling, screaming.
Those are things you kind of get across. Like, there's
I'm
a
assuming
big
she
fucking...
told him.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she told him before they went in.
Well, I'm going to wrap this up with, I got one email from Jacob Sampson, who said, pretty much says, I'm here to thank you guys for talking about me and David's book, Pedro or Die, or Vote Pedro or Die. We have taken into consideration your idea of making it a short animated film. Recently for our film and other project, I ordered animation software. It was $50 on the site, but only $16 on Amazon. If I have to assume, they might have bought Anime Studio Debut. I'm telling you this because we're taking further research about the software, found very good and highly recommended websites. If you guys are looking for good animation software to go further on projects and animation, I would consider it highly... Oh, Anime Studio Debut 9. Well, we use Anime Studio 9 Pro, so... But Debut is a good place to start off with. We started off with that one like on Anime Studio 6, so...
Yeah.
So yeah, it works.
Good luck to you guys. I finished the story. I thought it was good. That was funny.
Yeah, and then like that program will work. It's like
I'm glad someone did it with the katana.
I don't know if they've probably advanced it farther now. I know it's one of those ones like over time once you finally learn it though you go like okay I pretty much need to buy 9 because they don't give me enough options.
Yeah. I'm glad someone died with a katana.
Oh yeah, that was cool. It doesn't have to be anime. It could be any type of animation. Just thought I'd tell you in case you guys are interested in animation. If we make our video, we shall post it on YouTube to show everybody. But we just want to know any other good sites to put the finished project on. Thank you, goodbye.
Newgrounds?
Newgrounds is the best one for animation.
Yeah.
You'll get the most amount of views because it's like, my theory always is, it's like chucking a rock into Lake Tahoe other than chucking the rock into the Pacific Ocean. YouTube being the Pacific Ocean, Tahoe being, Newgrounds. But Anime Studio is really good. I like it a lot.
You'll get a lot more eyes, but you get some more shit talking, but you get more eyes.
But on Anime Studio, it's like that's the one that we've used. It works really well. I'd recommend though getting something like a video editing program, and I recommend Sony Vegas because it's cheaper and it's more efficient than a lot of the other ones. Don't buy anything Adobe because they're just a bunch of assholes that want to take your money.
That's very true.
It's not like their product's wrong. It's just fuck those guys for charging $900 per software and then saying like, no, you can only install it on this and that, and you have to like sign up and do all this stuff. No, fuck that bullshit. Buy Sony. You know, buy Anime Studio. There's other companies out there too. I'd get fucking like something like a Manga Studio to draw with, or a Corel Painter, or any of those things.
I'm looking at Corel Paint right now, actually.
But well, I just learned the more software you get, the better. It's like, I mean, exactly. I use about 5 different things.
We might be getting Toon Boom later down the line, and we still want to. That's a little bit later down the line, but it's one we're considering. Or
I've been considering it for a while. That's like just like the more software you get, or it's like in a sense. I mean, there's a point where you don't need any more, but yeah, you know, you just get, you know, just add on to your collection. Start with one and just keep going to the next and next, and then they all kind of like help each other out in the long run. But I recommend Sony Vegas a lot though, because it's like not only is it like video editing, but you get all your sound editing and stuff in it too.
There's great tutorials online too, on like on Anime Studio 9.
There's all kinds of stuff like that. You can't really get a book, but they have like a nice manual in there.
That manual is very helpful because
it's about like 600 pages worth of good shit.
For the longest time, because you were the one doing all the animation, I'm trying to learn it so we can get some stuff out there quicker now. But yeah, I've been learning it, and there's some great tutorials on YouTube.
But yeah, so check out oldmanorange.com for all our animations, videos, and podcasts, comics, and so on. And until then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And we will see you later.
Goodbye.